Hello, my name's Tom Wilson, and today we're going to talk about Arweave. Arweave is a block weave, not blockchain, block weave, and has some really cool properties. And what we're going to do is go through a series where we're going to build an application on Arweave. When you store data on Arweave, it is a pay once, store forever model. But you can also store application code on Arweave. So in this tutorial, we're going to use common web technologies to build a decentralized application on the Arweave Blockweave network. And just to give you an example of that, we can look at kind of the app that we're going to build, and then I'll get into some of the details. So 8pin is a GeoPin application that allows you to essentially look at a map and click on an area that you want to, quote, drop a pin and add some text, photo, and timestamp to that location. It then stores in Arweave forever. So you'll have that pin with that text and photo and a timestamp connected on the Blockweave forever. So let's look at the app that we're going to build today. It's dev.8pin.app. And with Arweave, you have wallets. So we're going to connect to our app using a wallet. I'm going to pull up the wallet and connect. And then you can see I've already got some pins already here. And we can go through the map, and I'll pull up the description. Here's Mr. Ribbons, and we'll view that pin. And here's the picture, and here's the date, and kind of the location, and then the lat and long. So uh, this is the app that we're going to build, where we'll have a map, and you can right click on the map and enter a pin or drop a pin. And then you can also click on one of the pins and kind of view the pin. And we're going to focus on kind of the Arweave Pacific pieces so that you really learn how an app is combined with Arweave, um, and how you can take your ideas and use this model to create decentralized apps that are powered by the Arweave network. So why Arweave for Web3? The unique properties of Arweave that really you pay once and it's stored forever, and then you can access that data using GraphQL, a common technology to access data via APIs. Also, the way smart contracts work on Arweave, called SmartWeave, is really cool as well. But what we're going to focus on is kind of the basics of Arweave development technology, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with just the basics. But then, in future tutorials, we'll get into some of the other interesting features of Arweave development ecosystem. What do you need to know? Well, you should be a JavaScript developer, um, have a good handle on Git, Node.js, NPM, and JavaScript. Also understanding JSON and GraphQL. Now, you don't have to understand the whole GraphQL ecosystem, but just understand some basic query semantics, and we'll get into that a little bit during this. And also, to complete the tutorial, you'll need a free Mapbox account. So go ahead and go to mapbox.com and sign up for a free account to get a free developer public API key. You'll want to have that, and we'll set it in the environment file so that our map will work for this app. Okay, so the setup. So the easiest way to get started is by forking the repository 8pin-arweave tutorial, clone it into your local environment, or spin it up on a Git pod. I use Git pod. It's really easy. It gives you this visual environment, um, Visual Studio environment on the cloud. So it really works well. But if you have your own setup, code editor, whatever, just clone it down to your local environment, and we'll walk through some of the setups. So the first thing you want to do is run yarn or npm install in the main directory, and then we'll go into the app directory and we'll create a .env file. And in that .env file, we want to add that API key here. And then we're also going to set up a couple of other attributes in this .env file to point to our local Arweave environment. And they're right here. So an Arweave um, DevNet system runs on port 1984, and it just uses HTTP and its local host. Um, and once we go to production, you can change these attributes or even just remove them, and it'll default to the production kind of Arweave mainnet. And quickly, we'll go through some topics here that we're going to discuss as we go through this tutorial. Um, the first one we're going to do is an Arweave developer tools review. And just to showcase, I think 4 tools: how to connect to a couple of wallets, how to use the Arweave JS SDK, and we'll talk about our AR local and ARKB. Those are the tools that we'll be using in the tutorial. Then we'll go through setting up AR local, which is our DevNet, and then we'll talk about querying Arweave with GraphQL. We'll talk about the shape of the 8-pin protocol and what that looks like. Then we'll go into Arweave JS, which is the npm package that we'll use to help us interact with Arweave um, as an SDK. Then we'll connect wallets, both arweave.app and rconnect. And then we'll actually write the code to post a transaction of a pin. We'll actually write the code to drop a pin on 8pin. And then to finish, we'll walk through the process of deploying our application to Arweave. And with that, let's go ahead and set up these parameters in our .env. So I'm just going to copy these for right now, and we'll just go to our .env. I've already got my Mapbox key, and we'll add those parameters like that, and that'll set us up for the next section. So thank you, and we'll get started on our tutorial.